All right, good evening to all of our viewers in Arkansas, Oklahoma, and in Southwest Missouri. I'm Joshua Weisel here in the Weather 225 Storm Studios. Finally cool enough in here with all of our computers and the lights and everything, and, not in the polo shirt this evening. And that's some good signs of what's to come, and that is cooler temperatures. I'm going to say it in quotations because, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot more of us that see some of those cooler temperatures compared to others. And, the region that's still not going to be super cooled off by the system, at least for tomorrow, it's going to be northeast Oklahoma. Now, for far eastern Oklahoma, the temperatures, they are going to be cooler. But for the Tulsa area and then Stillwater areas kind of surrounding there, Okmulgee, that's still going to be pretty warm. We're talking near or at triple digits tomorrow. For the overnight forecast, before we get too ahead of ourselves for the forecast tomorrow, we're expecting much cooler temperatures in parts of southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas, a little bit cooler in the River Valley by a couple degrees. Not a major cool down there. Same with eastern Oklahoma, specifically Stillwater, Barnsdall, Tulsa, and Okmulgee. Even Tahlequah still in the upper 70s, so really not that big of a change with the forecast there. There's going to be a chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight into tomorrow once again. Those rain chances will continue into Friday. Not as much on Friday, but still some rain chances to be aware of. We'll show you the future scan radar and the extended 7-day forecast with that here in just minutes. But here's a look at what we got for tomorrow. And the models are kind of back and forth on the temperatures, but factoring in the cloud coverage and, some more rain activity that we've got, I think there's a chance that the Fayetteville area could be anywhere from 88 to 91 degrees or so. Realistically, 89 to 90 is probably more realistic. We went with 89 just a little bit cooler because, as we've mentioned before, the valley that, Drakefield sits in, it's weird with the temperatures. Sometimes it's a little bit cooler or a little bit warmer than the forecasts are expecting. And I think tomorrow is a fair and equal opportunity that it could be a little bit cooler. Now, for southwest Missouri, there's going to be some areas a little bit near Joplin. I think that could be anywhere from 95 degrees or so. Right now, it's sitting at around 96. We'll have the latest here tomorrow morning. But Branson, a little bit cooler. Same with Clarksville and Rogers, right around the lower 90s. Now, the River Valley is going to be a little bit warmer. Yeah, but it's at least not as warm as it has been. Some upper 90s on the board, anywhere from 96 to 98 degrees. And then you take a look further to the west, and that's unfortunately not going to be super cool. So when we mention cooler weather, like we said, it's not the coolest weather that we've ever seen. We're not going from 104 to 77. Unfortunately for eastern Oklahoma and parts of the area, Tulsa, Barnsdall, Stillwater, Okmulgee, it's still going to be warm. So it's not the biggest cool down, but hey, at least it's not 105, right? Heat index values tomorrow could be as high as 108. So we'll take it. It's not going to be, the warmest, so it is technically cooler, but it's not going to be super cool out there compared to northwest Arkansas, southwest Missouri. No risk for severe weather coming up here for tonight into tomorrow. So we've got some good news there. Here's a look at those updated rain chances. Pretty much expected for all of southwest Missouri, northeast portions of the county coverage area, all the way into Arkansas. And so, it's really not a perfect algorithm, but it's been doing a pretty good job with the rain chances we've had so far. I think that overall, our Arkansas and southwest Missouri coverage areas have the greatest opportunity for rainfall not only today, but tomorrow and Friday. There's still going to be some rain chances, still high to very high in parts of eastern Oklahoma. Not everyone's going to see rain over the next couple of days, but there's a pretty good opportunity for a little bit more scattered to widespread activity compared to what we've seen recently. Far eastern Oklahoma counties that basically border with Arkansas have seen their fair share of rainfall so far this evening, and we just got some rain chances that will continue. And those rain chances could bring some measurable rainfall with it as well. Anyone in the risk for rain could see a couple tenths of an inch to maybe upwards of an inch of rain, especially in the Oklahoma County coverage area. Now, for southwest Missouri and our Arkansas County coverage area, it may be a little bit more in terms of that precipitation with the totals. It could be anywhere from 1 to maybe 3 inches of rainfall, and that's entirely dependent on, the conditions and, if it's heavy rainfall that kind of lasts for a long period of time, training activity, all of that. So not everyone's going to see 3 inches of rainfall, but I think there's a pretty good opportunity for at least a ½ inch to 2 for a large portion of the area that does receive rainfall over the next 24 hours or so. That's a look at what we got there with the rain chances. Now, excuse me, here's a look at what we got with the Foghorns morning fog outlook. And we mentioned we got a couple of cooler mornings ahead. Is that going to lead to any sort of foggy conditions? The answer is we're not expecting anything widespread. So for the Foghorns morning fog outlook, notice the reds, they're starting to build back in. There could be some patchy areas, but we're not expecting widespread issues or reduced visibility that is a result of fog. And the reasoning for that is we're going to have the cloudy conditions, we're going to have some rainfall, and also the temperatures are warmer into the evening, so that may impact the overall cooling and, yada, 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 all the ingredients for fog, not necessarily there, but there could be some patchy areas. I think the most likely would be maybe parts of southwest Missouri, parts of northwest Arkansas, maybe parts of the River Valley. But like we said, it's not going to be a widespread issue in the morning, but it is something that is an important segment. So huge shout out to Foghorns for sponsoring the segment. As you can see, an Arkansas original since 2004. Support them like they support us. They got locations in Springdale and in Fayetteville. Huge shout out to them. Support them like they support us. Coming up, we got to look at what's bringing these rain chances. Maybe another cool down? We'll let you know more about that here in just minutes. If you like our media and forecast, be sure to support us today on Patreon. You can advertise with us this storm season and throughout the year. Contact us today for availability and pricing. Weather 225 since 2015. All right, welcome back. Here's a look at what we've got with the drought monitor, and there's really no changes. And the reason there's no changes is this is not a daily forecast thing, right? We're going to show you this one last time this evening because we get the latest update tomorrow. And so I just wanted to kind of show you what it's looking like right now so that tomorrow we can revisit this and go, okay, here's the changes, right? The good news is we got some rainfall, so hopefully that'll help with parts of the area, especially in our Arkansas counties. Oklahoma may not be as much just because we're not expecting as much rain in some areas compared to Arkansas. So unfortunate for our Oklahoma county coverage area, but the good news is there's rain chances for all of the county coverage area, so we can take what we can get. We'll take a look at that Yeah, sometimes I can't talk on these segments, so I apologize for that. Yeah, we'll take another look at this as we head into tomorrow, get the latest drought monitor update, and we'll let you know what changes there. Here's a look at what we've got, and this is what's bringing all the rain activity. We have this little system that's moving through, and as forecasted, it moved through later yesterday into parts of today, and now it's stalling out, and that's why that's, kind of into that blue and red shading, where it has kind of a blue outline on the edges and then red in the middle. It's stalled out basically over Clarksville, central Arkansas, all the way down into portions of Mississippi and Alabama. And the low pressure area is actually near Viola, Kansas and Garden City. And that's what's bringing those rain chances. So this little weak system, it's bringing some of those cooler temperatures. And that's also the reason why Oklahoma is not as cool as northwest Arkansas, River Valley, southwest Missouri. Is notice it hasn't made its way through Oklahoma just yet, at least a large portion of the area. So that's why areas like Miami, they're going to see some cooler temperatures as a result of this, but this is really stalled out and hasn't made its way into our Oklahoma county coverage area fully yet. And that's why Arkansas, southwest Missouri are going to be enjoying some cooler temperatures. As we zoom in, it's also triggered numerous showers, even some areas of some thunderstorms. There has even been a couple of special weather statements for some gusty winds with this activity. It's not anything widespread or severe, so there's some good news there, but it is enough that it's leading to maybe some gusty winds of 50 miles an hour or so. So like we said, because that system's pushing through mostly in our Arkansas and southwest Missouri county coverage area, they're going to start to enjoy those temperatures a little bit cooler, but also a little bit more rain chances. Notice it started to push into the Tulsa area, and then it started to make its way back up to the north. So it really hasn't pushed through, and that's why those temperatures really aren't changing a whole lot. Here's a look at the future scan radar, and overnight tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms look possible. Same with the tomorrow morning commute. Bring an umbrella with you if you're headed out tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow afternoon, here's midday, maybe a little bit of a break for some areas, but pop-up shower and thunderstorm activity. That should continue off and on throughout the day tomorrow, so keep in mind, future scan's not perfect. Sometimes it tends to overdo or underdo things, and then rain chances will continue all the way into midday hours on Friday. There still could be some pop-ups during the afternoon and evening, but I think greater coverage is going to be a little bit earlier on in the day through at least midday on Friday. That's a look at future scan and what we've got there, and that's why rain chances not as high on Friday for parts of the area compared to Thursday. Here's a look at what we've got, and the good news is, notice the temperatures at the far end of the 7-day forecast at the very last day. It's been kind of all over the place with those numbers. It was trending a lot warmer, and yeah, it looks like we're going to see a warm up, but the good news is it's not looking as sharp of a warm up in the near future. So we're going to enjoy a beautiful weekend, mid 80s for many locations in northwest Arkansas this weekend. You can't beat that, especially after all the brutal heat that we've experienced. And I'm glad to say that the forecast is still trending a little bit into the reasonable side with those temperatures into next week. It's going to be dry. It's going to be warm. Of course, it's summer, so it's not perfect for those who don't like warm weather. We're still going to be in the 90s, but notice no triple digits in northwest Arkansas. Rain chances will continue. Spotty pop-ups possible Saturday and Sunday. That goes for the River Valley as well. Now, notice the River Valley, it is going to be a little bit warmer. We understand this if, you've lived here for years. If you're new to the area, the Bobby Harper Tunnel, if you've ever driven through that tunnel just south of Fayetteville, I say that just because a lot of us, travel back and forth from North Texas. So if you're from North Texas or anywhere south of here and you've taken that tunnel, you'll understand what I'm talking about. That tunnel seems to be the cutoff between, northwest Arkansas and the River Valley with the weather. South of the tunnel, it could be completely different than it is north of the tunnel. And so that's why we have all these different microclimates, and that's why the weather's so different in our county coverage area. So Wednesday, there's a chance you experience that because the River Valley is going to be a lot warmer than northwest Arkansas, right? But that's just typical for this time of year. So unfortunately, triple digits back on the board there. The weekend, though, enjoy that. Lower 90s are forecasted as of now. Here's a look at northeast Oklahoma. Basically the same thing. It's kind of back and forth. We may be in the triple digits by Wednesday. Keep in mind, the further out you go with the forecast, the least certain it is. And so there's going to be some changes with that forecast going forward. Beautiful weekend ahead. Upper 80s, lower 90s. Same with southwest Missouri. Lower to mid 80s coming up for Saturday. Upper 80s possible on Sunday. And then, like we said, kind of similar to northwest Arkansas. No triple digits in the 7-day forecast, which is a good thing. We'll enjoy that. That's a look at the forecast we got there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tomorrow morning, before you head out the door, be sure to grab the umbrella because you may want it just in case with those rain chances. I'm Joshua Weisel here in the Weather 225 Storm Studios. Have a great rest of your day.